Speaking of the game instead, on the bottom left corner of Royal Blood, we have one man who's sending 2 probes out. It is Icarus.
And on the top right, we have Jaxx, the Zerg player, who has a very, like this, I'm not sure what it is. It's not a border. This sort of logo that hovers right next to your hatchery or other base.
Alright.
Like, what was it called? Jaxx has it with the Stedman, I think the guy was called. The mad scientist.
Is he a decal? I don't remember the actual name. Usually it's the clan name. It's a clan icon, but you can change it to something custom.
Yeah.
My god, SRL is so annoying with his probe. Really blocking every possible building. Tries to block the extractor as well. My oh my.
He blocked once. Blocked it once. Tried to block it again. Made the hedge gas pool into a hedge pool gas.
Well, the Zerg player is going to be very annoyed by this. Way too annoyed. Standard build so far on the other side. We see why SRL decided to go for this map. The 2 building.
I'll block again.
Oh my.
Once again. Maybe he can even throw down a pylon if he really wants to commit to it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not committing. Oh. A little bit undecisive there. Could have blocked it twice. That would have been such a pain for Jaxx. I can already see
He's taking revenge right now. Taking revenge for the last series. His APM, by the way, on average is 200 right now, which for Protoss is basically 500 APM.
The APM button, right? Oh well, it shows. Well, it depends. If you are playing Phoenixes, for example, your APM spikes because you're constantly right-clicking them in a single spot. It's not real APM, but it's APM nonetheless, isn't it? It's not like anybody plays Phoenixes these days, but
yeah, they're actually getting pretty rare. Okay. Speaking of harassment, he's gonna go for the most classic kind of harassment, the Adept. Going straight for the drones, I think. No, the Creep Tumor, actually.
kills the Creep Tumors, shades out. Very well done by SRL. Not really taking too much hull damage on the Adept. Who's getting out with most of its life intact. Second gateway and a robo for Israel after the Twilight Council. We will have to see what he decides to go for. Alright, is Adepts for our boy here.
Yeah, I think this might actually be Icarus's main race because it feels a lot more crisp in terms of his gas count, in terms of his overall build, the harassment, everything.
Another run by the Adept, killing one drone and hurting another, forcing a drone pool.
Oh yeah, it is his main. Okay, thank you, boy.
As with most Nocap players, his main race is Protoss.
the master race of Protoss.
Oh yeah. Right, gate, warp gate has finished, and we have the first warp prism. So Jaxx needs some kind of defense right here, right now. He's going for spores and roaches, which are the spores are not a bad call because we usually see a DT follow up after the Adepts, but we really need to see those roaches being built right here, right now, because otherwise these Adepts will spell the end of him.
He just invested into something, but I'm not sure what it was. I mean, he's actually supply block. He's making 2 overlords. He just started lair. He doesn't seem to even know.
He has no units whatsoever. The links are getting destroyed. This queen on the natural, as a matter of fact, is getting absolutely murdered. And he has adepts everywhere by now. The warp prism has not even moved into the main because he doesn't need to. The adepts are doing just fine without any kind of reinforcement. 5 roaches are finally on the fraction tab, but we already can see that Zerg is getting destroyed economically.
Yeah,
this
is a disaster. Right now, Icarus was doing really good multi-prong, But funnily enough, there weren't even any units to actually defend the Multitron.
I love to see over, observer die to spores, random spores.
Oh yeah.
Finally, we do have a cleanup on the devs, but it's way too little, way too late. 22 drones have gone down in this whole thing. We still have an adept on the natural here, well, the third by now, and he finally gets cleaned up. But we are looking at a Zerg with 17 worker supply. The only thing you can do, I think, in a position like this is to try and go for some sort of a lane, because you really cannot match the economy at this point.
And it's not even an exaggeration. I mean, sometimes casters will just say it for the sake of, being more confident in the result of the game. But in this case, really, I just can't see how he can possibly recover from this.
Adepts are shading into me once more, killing the queen that was trying to inject, and be useful there. They shade out, not really dealing too much damage, but I think that at this point SRL can just fight these roaches head on with the adepts. The adepts with glaive are very good, even against the roaches themselves. He has some stalkers now to try.
Yeah, he was expecting him a little bit too much, and thinking the main as well, he could have engaged the queens and killed the two hurt queens. Now he's gonna go for it, but it's a bit too late. These adepts are gonna die.
Well, he's losing a little bit too much for what he's accomplishing, but let's remind ourselves that SRL is so far ahead that simply attacking is the right call whatsoever, because he doesn't, he needs just to not give the Zerg the time to recover economically. He's forcing out units, he's forcing the Zerg not to build drones, and that's already a win in his book. The base is going down for Icarus, about to be finished. We have a few immortals ready on the main base who are going to walk across with the stalkers, and that's probably going to be the nail in the coffin here for our Jaxx.
Yep. I love the choice of immortals here. He's not really going for any sort of other tech, because he knows he's so far ahead that he just has to stop the roaches, and he's building the best unit against them.
Yep. I would love to see a few more adepts at this point, just to deal with the remaining few links. But other than that, I think there's no way that the Zerg can try to defend against this push when it comes across the map. At the moment, it's idling quite a bit.
Oh, there he goes. He's coming across right now.
Alright, I think he was just playing out, waiting for Blink and +1 to finish before actually committing into a push. Very good decision indeed, because you want to go for your power spikes. And
in fact, he is spending all of his money, and just now his +1 gonna finish just as he's hitting. So perfect timing there. Yeah, instant GG.
Yep. Indeed, and that gives Nocap their first win of this clan war. Trying to get back some points from PigPan. Well,
yeah, that game there was much more convincing than the two last games.
Yep.
By Icarus specifically.
Instant Cistern is gonna be chosen by Jaxx.
Understandable, is the second largest map and the most, like, maybe. Which one do you think is more open, Ancient Cistern or Altitude?
Oh,
I think it might actually be Ancient Cistern.
well, Instant Cistern has lots of ups and downs, so while it is very, like, if you're moving across the map, you're wide open to possible attacks, and the Zerg can surround you very easily. But I would have to actually see how this played out. I've seen maps being played on the exact same matchup, and it went completely different because the players used the map in ways that are not like the same. But yeah,
Yeah, I think Icarus is probably just gonna be confident in this game, gonna go for something like Oracles, just completely standard.
yeah, super standard build after going for a very aggressive early game on his last game. Anyhow, here we are. On the bottom left corner of Ensign Cistern, we have the yellow Zerg. It is Jaxx. Oh, sorry. I forgot to. Very well done.
And on the top right corner, playing for Nocap, it is Icarus. 1-0 so far.
A little bit of a second intro on Jaxx because it was cut out by my mistakes.
Sorry, what? I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
watching the
didn't.
game, not the...
I didn't move the scene, so they were looking at nothing. Yeah,
Oh.
the other way around. That's not my fault. That's the casting tool fault, by the way. The probe is coming across the map, but it's not as early as the last one, so Jaxx will not be forced to place his own hatchery in some very uncomfortable places.
Jaxx is taking vengeance on Icarus right now, just counter blocking. Screw you.
Vengeance! Oh no, you're going to lose the drone. Do not lose the drone.
He's like, vengeance solves nothing, but it is sweet as hell.
Oh yes. And he's even stealing an extractor here. Canceling just to try and finish some few more scouting things. I mean, the problem with this though is that even though this is a perfect scout by this drone, it's not like you can really scout anything out of the Protoss until the Cybercore is finished. So unless you manage to make this drone survive for 5 more minutes, it's not gonna get really any chance to scout anything worthwhile. At the same time, we have a probe that's doing exactly the same.
I mean, usually you use this moment to just mineral harass to block the mining on the workers, but oh my god. Wait, is he gonna do it? He was gonna build a proxy hatchery. He was gonna build a proxy hatchery right in the wall, but he decided against it.
Oh, Stargate out of Ezreal.
Okay, yeah.
Very standard indeed.
As we predicted. Oh, another block there. These guys are really creating a dynamic here. I like it.
They really hate each other.
Oh. He could have killed the probe. He had the regeneration of the drone. He could have killed the probe there. A little bit too shy there.
I think the probe had the first hit, so we might have gone into the probe saver. I was not paying too close attention to the HP, but...
Oh my god, that was so close. The Adept almost killed the drone there as it was building the third, and he almost got it, just like a split second away.
Like, these two guys really hate each other now with all the blocks that are happening. The Adept has no shade and it gets surrounded and gets immediately killed by the 8 lings. That's a lot of lings for the early game.
The Adept has no shade, but the lings are throwing shade at it.
Oh yeah, that's a fun.
Oh yeah, oracles, there you go. I'm gonna shoo away the lings. In fact, might even actually kill all of them because speed is not finished yet.
Well, I think it's always sort of a waste to use laser unless they're attacking. Like if they committed to an attack, I'm fine with that. But if you're trying to kill the links on the go, it's not really very efficient when it comes to the energy.
Yeah, that's true. Because you need to mic through it constantly, to stutter step, and you have stuff to do meanwhile.
Alright, the Zerg is going very standard. At the same time we have the first Forge, Twilight, and 3 Oracles for our Protoss player, who's not really sending the Oracles on the other side of the map, just trying to defend, using his energy to clean up some of these Zerglings, but most of them will escape with their lives and this... Oh, they stopped, but the Oracle turned off its laser beams.
Yeah, that was a tiny bit of an awkward interaction there, but I think Icarus has enough energy on his oracles. He's not even actually using them offensively, which is a little bit strange actually.
Yeah, it's surprising to say the least. Usually, especially as the Protoss in a PvZ matchup, you need to deal some damage on the other side. I think SRL is just content with the fact that he delayed a little bit the third hatchery and that he forced a few more Zerglings that the Zerg would have lost. But right
By
now,
the way, Icarus just misclicked a few seconds ago and wasted all of his energy on his oracles as he was leaving his third nexus. He misclicked and just activated all of them for some reason.
oh, this
Yeah, now he
means
just doesn't have energy.
yeah, this means that Jaxx will be able to drone up as much as he wants because Icarus, for once in this series, does not have any stay on the other side of the map, and
Yeah.
if you cannot move out, you as a Zerg don't really need to build any defenses because you can just build drones at this point.
Yeah, he has 67. I mean, usually you see Protoss and Zerg be relatively close in workers, but in this case, Jax is beating him really hard in that.
Yeah. Now, one thing that can still kill Jaxx at this point is a very big commitment on an attack by SRL. Nice kill on the transferring drones here by Icarus
Yeah.
with these 3 oracles. We really need some queens on the defense here.
Meanwhile, a Zergling managed to kill the probe before it builds a fourth Nexus. So both players right now they're still blocking their expansions.
My god. They really hate each other now. We see a lot of links being built. Jaxx going with the glorious theory of I know that oracles counter links, but they finish energy sooner or later, and I have more links than you have energy. So, fuck you, Protoss.
Well, funnily enough, the Stalkers actually push them away, which usually get countered by them. He's really just not committing that much, but okay, now he's building the big count of Banelings, and Baneling speed is gonna finish with +1 attack.
Big attack by Icarus coming across the map. It will be scouted by the creep trimmers, but the Banelings are about to finish. They do not have a speed as far as I remember. No, they do actually have Bane speed. And these Stalkers are just getting surrounded. The Turtles really are not doing much, but Blink saves them in the last second. Turtles slaughtering the Lynx, but the Lynx are way too fast for the Oracles to compete. Oh, losing Oracle is not what you want at this point.
Ouch. Yeah, that wasn't necessary. I mean, this shows the stark contrast between how well Lynx do against Stalkers versus how poorly Banelings do against them. Like, he just crashed something like 5 Banelings into a Stalker, didn't even kill it, but the Lynx just completely wrecked them.
Yeah, especially with +1 melee, the Zerg is gonna counter those Stalkers very quickly with the Zerglings. Now we have a 1-2 punch by the Zerg attacking at the same time the third and the fourth base, but he sees the army, sees the Archons, and decides to go away and try to get the easier target that is the fourth base here.
I think he's been watching maybe Bronze to GM by Pig, because this is exactly what Pig was doing last time, which is just 2-prong with Ling Bane, wait to see where the army is, and then go on the other side. There you go, and now he's coming back again, destroying all of the probes there.
That is a big catch by Jaxx, who's getting away with some serious damage on the other side for... Well, he lost way more than you should have when it comes to Lynx, but you don't really care about Lynx, do you?
No, not in comparison to the Protoss. That the more probes they lose, exponentially it gets worse, because you just lose all of your tempo and you can't really do anything to punish the Zerg.
Alright,
like with Protoss, you really feel it very quickly because you warp in units, and so because you're warping in at the front, the moment your eco drops, you instantly feel it in your attacks.
We do have High Templar items that are available, but no Storms so far, and Hydras are on the way. I think without any kind of splash damage, the Hydras, if they can get to a decent enough count, it will be a problem. This army though, moving across the map, is very scary for Zerglings. The Archons really don't care about Zerglings whatsoever. Just annihilate them. This is
And they
what
don't care about banelings per se either.
yeah, you can crash an enormous amount of banelings, they still don't care. What they do care about though is the high range of the Hydras, which they cannot really hit until they finish all the Zerglings. Huge surround by Zerg as the Protoss is trying to attack. The banelings are crashing in. It is a very costly engagement for Zerg to try and defend his base. It is a costly engagement for Protoss to lose as well if he loses more of these Archons.
It was a very strange engagement. Overall, I thought the Protoss was doing very good because all of the links there that got trapped by the stasis ward also blocked all of the units behind them.
Yeah.
So, like, half of his army wasn't even fighting, and yet he just cleaned up the Protoss, no problem. I guess this round really worked.
+3 weapon is about to finish for the Protoss, who's getting away with a substantial upgrade lead. But on the other side, we have a Zerg who has been on the better side of the economy for quite some time. Icarus finally getting over the 70 worker mark. But we have a Zerg who's on the move with twice the army supply, and while the upgrades are good and the army composition is good as well, this is a huge army to try and kill with just Zealots and Archons.
The High Templars are vulnerable right now. Additionally, he actually went into the 4th base with a few banelings. It was technically before +2 finished, so that he can one-shot the probes, but he still got a lot of damage done there.
Yeah. You can see that photon cannon has been depowered, the shield battery has been killed as well, and well, he even went and buried some of his links on this base to try and harass it later.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, very well done.
Meanwhile, actually, I think the Zealot run by there kind of saved Icarus in that moment.
Yeah, I think he pulled back a few units that were trying to get something done. We finally have Storm, and some High Templars are very high on energy. That will be a problem for Zerg, but Zerg is already taking Lurkers, and how many upgrades do we have on Lurkers? Not any.
He just finished Hive. Just like 5 seconds ago he finished Hive, so he should be starting them right now. Usually upgrades in the lower leagues are something that's very difficult to correctly start on time.
Finally we see +1 ranged weapon. I would love to see also another Evo chamber, because he needs to switch into this and that, and at the moment with just one Evo chamber it's not gonna be fast whatsoever.
Man, these guys are going up right now.
These are just gonna have some fun. Lurker dealing damage, but at the same time we have Al-Rambai who's killed way too many Zerg units to be comfortable with, and another huge engagement that
my god. The storms were big, but the Lurker shots on the army was even bigger. Four places were attacked simultaneously, 3 by the Zerg, 1 by the Protoss. I think the High Templars were just a little too vulnerable against these Lurkers, and now, as he's morphing, yeah, he just doesn't have enough.